Hey, Soul Tribe. Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in another Soul Saturday session. Today, we are going to dive into the energetic influence that Neptune has over you, over your life, your mind, your emotions, and your reality. Now, Neptune retrograde kicked off on July 4th. Neptune is the planet of dreams, mysticism, higher love, and illusions. So when this planet goes retrograde, it takes you out of that spell. Sometimes we can be under a bit of a spell where we wear those rose-colored lens. We can be in a wishful thinking, or our emotions can be tethered to a person, a situation, or a dynamic that isn't always in our highest good, or it's not something that's based in truth or reality. So that's what we are going to dive into today, collective. If you enjoyed today's content, please do give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And if you are interested in a personal reading, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, collective. So what does this mean for you? It means that you might start to see the truth around a relationship, around a situation, or even a belief that perhaps you've been idealizing. Perhaps you have been hanging on to this concept here in some way that hasn't been helping you. It's been holding you back, or in a holding pattern here in some way. We don't want to idealize energies that are illusions, right? Because then what happens is when that illusion shatters, our whole lives can flip upside down. It can create a tower. And so this retrograde offers us the opportunity to see the truth behind what's really going on, and to notice where potentially you've been escaping, okay, through maybe overworking or scrolling on social media, perhaps daydreaming. It can be substances or even avoidance. So taking a look at those energies at this time are going to be very beneficial, because this retrograde is going to last until the end of the year. Now, you may feel a call to return to a spiritual practice. Perhaps this is meditation. It can be yoga, journaling. It can even be a project that you have maybe put on the back burner, because Neptune is actually retrograding in its home sign of Pisces, and Pisces is a very mystical sign, a mystical energy here. So you may be deepening like dream work, breath work, and even water rituals. We are also in the midst of Cancer season, which is Pisces' fellow water sign. So there's a lot of emotional energies that are taking place. So if you are feeling a little more sensitive than normal, know that it is normal right now. We're going through a lot, and this is one of 4 planets that will be going retrograde in the month of July. Now, another thing that has been brought to my attention with this energy, because we tend to feel some of this retrograde energy prior to the actual date, and the message that has come through is, are we truly doing the work, or are we spiritually bypassing? So this retrograde is going to expose spiritual facades, right? Are we truly healing, or, are we calling it love and light? Are we avoiding the shadows? Expect awakenings at this time. Expect accountability to bubble up here, perhaps for you or relationships that you are a part of, and in spiritual places, spiritual spaces as well. You may have a strong urge or a call to visit, perhaps externally or physically visit a location or space that holds high spiritual energy. This has actually been showing up a lot in the astrological readings. So if you have a call to maybe visit like Sedona, Arizona, or Machu Picchu, or like Mount Shasta, or an area that does hold some sort of spiritual significance or energetic imprint, you may want to travel there. Perhaps you are drawn to listen to podcasts or audiobooks or even television shows that have that air of mysticism in them. Now, this is also a great time to bring clarity into relationships. I'm talking all types of relationships. The rose-colored lens come off, right? We begin to sense people's truths, people's intentions, including our own. So this can be a really powerful 6-month transit when it comes to how we see ourselves and how we see relationship dynamics play out. So there certainly can be some very intense breakthroughs when it comes to those relationships. And boundaries. Boundaries is another huge energy that has been showing up because we are being asked here to strengthen our own boundaries, to take the lens off of superficiality, perhaps perfectionism, and expectations. Don't be surprised if illusions around like friendships, love, family dynamics start to unravel. It's not a bad thing, right? Oftentimes, retrogrades are feared. Retrogrades get a bad rap, but I personally really enjoy the energies because I love to learn and I love to evaluate and grow. And I heard someone say the other day, retrograde is like the planet sitting in time out. And that is a great analogy because, yeah, it allows us to think about, I don't want to say what we've done. It's not like we're getting sent to the principal's office or anything like that, but it does allow us to think about our lessons, our behaviors, our actions, our, beliefs. And so we do sit in a little bit of this time out, but it doesn't mean that we're not taking action. When you feel like a lesson has been integrated, right? Or if it feels like you are on the beginning stage of a healing journey, it can allow you to see life through a new lens, through a new perspective, especially if you've been feeling stuck. And Spirit is saying here, Soul Tribe, you are not stuck. And sometimes we go through that divine pause, right? The divine time out for us to really reevaluate and ask, is this where I want to be? Is this something I'm avoiding or shoving under the rug? Do I not want to look at it? Do I think that am I telling myself that I'm healing, but I'm really not because, I'm not reprogramming in a way that maybe a healed one would do. And remember, healing is not a straight line. We tend to go back sometimes when maybe an old wound or a trigger shows up, a new relationship, or, a circumstance that mirrors an energy of the past. And you have always a choice. You always have a choice to replay out that story by defaulting back into, old patterns, old defense mechanisms, or we can stop, we can pause, and we can come up with, a new thought, a new story, a new action plan. Now, another thing that can show up at this time is old visions may tend to die, right? Old visions or dreams that you've had, you may be letting go of, and that's okay. Oftentimes, we feel like we have to hang on, right? I don't know about you guys, but that's one of my biggest struggles is letting go and hanging on. Like, is it time? When do I fully release that? But it's trusting your intuitive awareness, trusting your knowing. And the more that I integrate spiritual practices and nature, and I connect to, my guides and the divine, the more I feel like I'm not alone and I'm able to trust instead of control. So this would be a wonderful time to re-up that vision board. Take a look at, past vision boards and see if there are dreams that have manifested for you, or maybe there are dreams that no longer align with your future vision, and that's okay. You are allowed to let them go, right? You're allowed to let that go. And there may even be some dreams that unfortunately didn't turn out the way that you had thought. Maybe it was a relationship that failed, or some sort of expectation that wasn't met, or it was a letdown in some way. So you're really dissolving some of those old stories around dreams, but you have the ability to, step into that Knight of Cups energy and reimagine. I always say when retrograde season is here, to whip out all of the REs, right? Reimagine, reinvent, replenish, all of the REs that you can think of. That retrograde season is the best time to bring those out. Now, your spiritual goals and intentions are important here as well, because when you start to reprogram that thought or that belief, you start to act in that manner, right? Your emotions then can align. So oftentimes you may feel like you're in a Two of Swords energy, where your head is going in one direction and the heart is going in another direction, and it's like a cat and mouse game. Like, do I stay? Do I go? Do I move forward in this path or that path? But when we tell ourselves something, right? When we get into that strong mental clarity, King or Queen of Swords, we are able to then, react in a way that aligns with that thought, and then emotions can follow. So there's a whole, dynamic that can play out at this time. So subconsciously, this time is a really good era, if you will, or especially the rest of 2025, to do a bit of a spiritual and subconscious dump. Meaning, if you have energetic attachments or like spiritual attachments to karma or old conditioning, this is the time to detox. Pay attention to your dreams. Piscean energy is very much dreamy, and you are getting a lot of messages, Soul Tribe, through your dreams. Even one that I had this morning. I'm a constant dreamer. Every single morning I wake up with dreams that are so real, so alive, that I love being in that dream state, because it's just out of this world. And this morning I had dreamt of, water. My daughter has a Holland Law bunny, and this bunny was like a fish in the water. And typically, rabbits don't swim. They're not supposed to be submerged in water. And this, the bunny was swimming around fast, like faster than even a fish. And it was free and it was alive. And there's so much rich symbolism in our dreams. So pay attention to those dreams and to those gut feelings, because chances are you are detoxing. You are being guided here to upgrade some of the patterns that have played out for you. And Neptune retrograde works through that non-linear, right? What seems random is actually going to carry a very, very profound message for you. And I'm also getting nature and animal spirits for you. You could be getting signs out in nature or through animals. And pay attention, because it may feel insignificant. So for example, that small bird that was tweeting while you were walking, your dog, it feels like there are messages that are coming through in all different avenues. And it may not be your average. I mean, a lot of people get messages through birds or through animals, but it feels like there could be some that, you're out of the blue. You're like, where did that just come from? Or, wow, I have not seen this animal in the wild. So for example, the last couple nights I've been out on the paddleboard, which I go out pretty much five nights a week or 5 days a week. I'm out on the paddleboard and I'm connecting to wildlife. And the last couple of nights I've been connecting to this beaver family, this mama and her 2 babies. So these tiny, cute little baby beavers hold such rich symbology, and it's not normally an animal that I would come into contact with within, a couple of feet. And it feels like There's so much of that going on where it almost does feel dreamy. It feels like you're in a dream. And so that energy isn't always bad, right? It's not bad when we can sit in that dreamy energy and we're feeling good and we're manifesting it in the material or physical realm. But it's when that dreamy energy becomes, illusionary, or we start to live in that world and we're not grounding it in reality. Now, some of you may be called to work with like a healer, a spiritual advisor. It could be a guru or a teacher. You may be really leaning into your intuition at this time. It's a very intuitive connection that you have with your guides, your ancestors, and you may even be inviting new spiritual helpers and healers into your world. So if you are someone who does connect to your guides, or if your guides show up as animal spirits, and if you feel this new presence, invite it in, because a lot of you are calling in ascended masters or the angelic realm, because you are increasing your own spiritual gifts at this time, which means you may want to lean into a bit more solitude. I know lately nature and solitude has been right up my alley, and it allows me to connect the pieces, the dots, but it also allows me to take a look at some of those dreamy energies and ask, is this something I meant to activate here in reality? And you're able to gain more clarity through solitude. So some of you, if you do feel like being more quiet or, detaching from the noise or the outer world, then certainly make time for quiet. Now, of course, drinking water, spending time near water, in water, on water is going to be beneficial. Bathe with intention. For those of you that love taking baths or even showers, set an intention of releasing. Imagine the stuck energy going down the drain, or when you hop into that bath, imagine yourself, so again, imagine yourself relaxing. So get into that vibration that aligns with your soul. And some of you may want to revisit some old ideas, but you may want to reflect or edit them. So some of you, the dreams are, that's not really a dream anymore, or that idea has been outdated. I don't really want to, write that book anymore, or, I don't really want to move in that direction that I thought I was going to move in, because you are rich, full of creative, intuitive ideas at this time. And you may want to start something new, or you may branch off on something existing. Trust in your own intuition here, and use divination tools like tarot, or it can be oracle cards, pendulums, runes, sage. Use all of the tools. That's why we have them. So now I'm going to pull some cards just to take a look here. I also have this new deck. This is the Tea Leaf Fortune card. So I'm always excited to share new cards with you. So we're going to take a look and see what areas here this Neptune retrograde may be affecting. So let's look. Marriage for some of you. We have love, and we have happiness. Okay, well, there's your relationship dynamics here. So we have the marriage, we have love. So this is matters of the heart. It can be passion projects. It can be a love for what you do. It can be self-love. I mean, love is the heartbeat of our existence, is it not? So really looking at all areas of your life and asking, is this filtered with the energy of love first, right? Is love showing up in this area of my life? And if not, why not? And then we have here happiness. So those are the three big themes that are playing out for you at this time. So I'm just gonna tune into each one and see what messages come up intuitively, and then we'll pull some more cards. I love this new deck. It actually has months of the year here, so all 12 months, and then key houses that are affecting you, like the astral houses, and then it has tons of these smaller cards here that have messages that I haven't even looked at all of them yet, but we're going to pull some today for you, Soul Tribe. So in marriage, I'm getting a D name here. This could be Damien or Dwayne or even Dorothy. It could be showing up. It could be a first name, middle name, last name, strong D. Someone is in a marriage. They may be contemplating here, do I want to stay in this marriage? Well, trust that over the next 6 months, there's going to be a bit of unraveling, and it's scary, but I feel like this could be what is in your highest good at this time, to make some decisions that bring you back to yourself in some way. Okay, so for those of you that are in some form of relationship or high level commitment, specifically a marriage, it does feel like those of you that are currently on the brink of separation or divorce, that could be something that is required or needed in order to grow, in order to heal, in order to evolve. Now, I'm also getting here on the other end of this, for those of you that are in a marriage, there could be a reconnecting of commitment here, where you may travel to someplace dreamy with your spouse or your partner. Some of you may be renewing your vows. Maybe some of you are actually getting married with this marriage over the next, 5 to 6 months. There could be a ring involved here. And I also see for those of you that are single, this could be something you are calling in or activating. And instead of repeating old dynamics or old patterns with either the same person or the same types of people, you are breaking out of that mold. You have the ability here to call in and attract someone who checks off all of those boxes, right? Spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So it does feel like if you're wanting this, you have the ability to attract and call in, a high level commitment. But it may be 2026 that something really gets off the ground. And a few of you may even have heard this before. Maybe you've heard it from me, but I am getting 2026 February. I'm actually going to pull some cards here for months, okay, because I am getting February could be a significant month, but let's see for 2026 as well. All right, we have the month of May. Now, someone could be born in May. There could be significance around love in the month of May. We have here December. So this kind of aligns with, wrapping things up. We are in a 9-year. 2025 is a 9-year, which is about completions, completing out cycles, because 2026 is actually stepping us into the next 9 years as we roll into a new 1 year. And then we have August. So we are seeing some shifts take place here. I feel this August, this 8/8 portal, where a lot of you are going to see a huge transformative change. I see in the physical realm, because between now and August of 2026, you are bringing something to life within you, and that could mean your entire world externally changes. Some of you by August of 2026, you will no longer live in the same city, in the same home. You'll no longer be in the same relationship, or if you're single, you could be in a relationship. It just feels like there's a lot of energies that are shifting here for you. All right. When it comes to love, I am getting here pets, okay? So animals came up earlier. Some of you are going to either call in a new animal, a new pet. Some of you may be getting for your home, okay, for your companion. This could be like an emotional support pet that really you give a lot of love to. You love them, they love you. There's a strong bond. I'm also getting someone may have a pet that has babies, okay, and you may decide to maybe keep one of those babies. And then also in love, I mean, maybe this is that February, like Valentine's energy. It feels like there will be an invitation here for you to do something that you love. Maybe someone invites you out dancing and you love to dance. It could be that someone invites you to go on stage and speak about something that you love. It could be a direct invitation from a person, or it could show up repetitively. Maybe it shows up in your inbox, or it shows up, on social media over and over. It could be an invite here to, go travel to a place you've always wanted to travel. Keep your heart open, because people, places, and things are showing up for you at this time, Soul Tribe, that will help you expand that heart center. And there may even be an opportunity that comes up where someone asks for your help, is what I'm getting. Someone may ask for your help, and you may help them out of the kindness of your heart. And there's something here about not expecting anything in return, okay? And that's hard to do sometimes, because we tie expectations to results, or to, if I give this, then I have to get back. But if you remember in the spiritual laws, right, one of them is the law of karma, law of cause and effect, and the law of reciprocity. So you will receive what you put out, you will get back, even if it's not in the way that you think, even if it's not from that individual. You doing good is going to bring good back to you. So not only live by the golden rule, treat others the way that you want to be treated, put out the good thoughts, the good vibrations. That's not spiritually bypassing, right? It's not toxic positivity, but it's actioning it up, saying, okay, I want to be a good person. Instead of just saying that, go out there and actively be a good person. I want to help the planet. And instead of just saying you want to help the planet, buy bamboo toilet paper, or go pick up some trash. Whenever I'm out on the paddleboard, I come back with a whole front paddleboard full of, stuff that's in the water or in the woods. The other day, half my paddleboard was taken up by this huge floating block. I had no idea what it was, but I picked it up and I stuck it on my board. And I brought it back to the landing, and it was a huge piece from the docks there at the landing. And I found where it was, and I stuck it back on. But, it's about you actioning up the behaviors, the thoughts that you are putting out there. So I see that something is coming back to you, and it feels like it's a lot of love. It's a lot of love, self-love as well. Next, we have happiness here. Some of you may have felt disconnected from happiness, and that's why this Neptune energy here is showing up in the way that it is, because what do we do when we're not feeling happy? We try to fill that void through escapism, because it gives us an instant hit, but it's not sustainable. That's where that devil energy can come in. So I see that a lot of you are going to release things from your life that give you that quick fix, but then make you feel like crap. Maybe it is that sugar rush, right? Or that some sort of dopamine hit that comes in quick from connecting to someone maybe you shouldn't. Or it can be, it can be anything that we know isn't helping us, but it fills some sort of void for a quick moment. And I see you disconnecting from that, or trying to find or moderate in some way instead of over consuming, right? I'm getting the Four of Pentacles here, where we tend to consume ourselves in something, hang on to it so much that, we miss out on opportunities. And I'm getting even Four of Cups, Four of Coins energy. So we're actually going to pull just a couple tarot cards here on happiness, what we need to know about happiness. And then we are going to pull from the other tea leaf cards here and wrap up our reading. So if you guys are enjoying this, look at who popped out here. We have the Devil that just came out here, actually in reverse, which is great. So the Devil is, codependent patterns, dynamics. It can be indulgences. You see here that this devil is offering up this girl and boy an ice cream cone and a pocket full of money, right? And there's some sort of attachment to that, okay, I'll give you these sweet things that you want, dear children, but your soul is mine, right? It feels like there's some sort of way off here, and that may be what you're doing, is saying, okay, if I want to lose weight, but yet I am indulging and eating, a pint of Tom and Jerry's each night, are my actions, are my thoughts and actions aligned? And so I see that, it's not that you're cutting yourself off so much where you're not indulging in some of the sweeter things in life, but you're not doing it to the point where it becomes excessive or when it becomes toxic. And that's what the devil is. The devil isn't necessarily bad. The devil gets a bad rap of toxicity, right? But the devil spelled backwards is lived. We are meant to live our lives on planet Earth, right? We're meant to eat the chocolate. We are meant to, indulge in caffeine, right? I've had 2 cups of caffeinated tea this morning. And, we indulge in the sweeter, finer things in life. But when it becomes an excess, that's when it becomes unhealthy. So just take a look at what has become an excess in your life, if anything. And if you have nothing, you're like, Mel, there's nothing, right? There's a void. Maybe you need to go play with the devil. Maybe there is something here about you living life, going out and having fun. It doesn't mean that you're going to become attached to it or addicted to it. It could mean that you let your hair down and you have fun for a night. Now we have here the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So look at all that water energy here, Soul Tribe. Now the Nine of Cups came out in reverse, which can be dreamy, wishful thinking. It can be Piscean energy of that haze, that spell, like being under a spell. It can be that it's time for you to take a look at areas that feel a little bit restless, or areas that, is this a pipe dream? Has this been something I've been dreaming about, but I haven't actively been putting to action? Now here's your time. You have this ace. This ace is offering you up a beautiful gift from the universe here. And you see that on this card, she's holding this cup and it's overflowing because it starts with that self-love. It starts with you choosing to make choices that are aligned with your soul. It's not about good and bad or right and wrong. It is about awareness. It is about you trusting in you. It is you connecting to that space within and finding those answers for yourself here. So let's pull from these decks here, or this deck, same one, just different. I'm going to look at the bottom here. Older woman, it says here, dealings or relationships with an older woman. All right, some of you, this woman could look familiar. Okay, it's someone who potentially has gray hair. I mean, this could be a mother figure for some of you. It could even be a boss. I am getting here, there may be some pulls regarding responsibility or releasing any outdated patterns around maybe a divine feminine who has been an influence. And I'm also getting ancestral. So some of you have a loved one, Patty. I just heard Patty. Or Joy. Okay, how beautiful, Joy. Maybe those are names, Patty or Joy, that are tied to an older woman here, possibly a grandparent or a divine feminine who's crossed over. You could be getting messages through dreams from this older woman, okay? I'm also getting another message here of someone feels like they are too old. You're not, right? You're not too old to fall in love. You're not too old to go out and do something you've always wanted to do. You're not too old to, activate this energy within you. If something is curious, if some sort of intuitive calling is alerting you, go in that direction. Explore, be curious, but also ground your energy at the same time, right? Is it a pipe dream or is it something that is attainable here? All right, let's get another one. We have here, chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. Yeah, someone is leaving your life, right? Letting go and hanging on. And I do see, maybe for some of you, this is an older woman or a boss that you've struggled with. I mean, it can even be a physical loss. Some of you have a family member who is at the end of their life, and maybe that has been heavy. Again, the months here, December, August, May, are standing out. It can be that this energy, it feels like there's a lot of love, okay, or there's something with love, but I also see transformation with letting go. Maybe this is self-love, especially if something has been difficult with that devil energy here. Let's get another one. I'm kind of loving these. You guys, I'll put this in the description box because some of them are intense. Some of them are kind of challenging. And at first I looked at a few and I was like, oh, do I want to put that out there? But, sometimes we need to hear the hard stuff. It can't be all, airy fairy roses and unicorns. We have mice. It's interesting. I almost brought up mice earlier because I was getting the animals. There was a bunch coming, but some of you may have a mouse either in the house. It can be in your car. Maybe you're seeing a mouse. I mean, it could be that this is the mouse you're seeing on screen right now. It says discord amongst family or friends. That is what may be leaving your life, but there may be illusions that are tied to something here. And I just feel like this is worth addressing before something spirals. And some of you may be thinking, Mel, something has already spiraled, right? Something has spiraled here that has left you feeling maybe less than happy. Perhaps it's regarding a dream or a new beginning, Ace of Cups. But I definitely see here that there's a bit of discord, and that's normal when retrograde comes up, to reevaluate and say, okay, why are we not on the same page? Is this something we can communicate and work with? So trust that any discord is coming up to help heal, to help teach, to help evolve. All right, what else do we have here? Coins. Let's talk about money. Some of you are like, Mel, you're babbling. You're talking about all this stuff. Where's the money? Here it is, coins. We have here, money will be coming to you. Beautiful. And I have a feeling that's part of the love. It's part of doing something that you love, exploring, your passions here and being able to maybe monetize here. But coins are showing up, the Pentacle realm. I'm actually going to pull some tarot cards because it feels like there may be a new love offer coming up when it comes to your work. So Ace of Cups can be disconnecting here with that Devil, and this is something that is sustainable for you. Like, you can believe in it. I'm getting a message of like, pinch myself. Like, is this really happening? Am I really going to love this job that I'm in, or is it going to falter like the rest? Maybe that's a belief that some of you have. Let's take a look here and see what is coming up for coins. Now, sometimes the Death card. Yeah, so there's definitely an ending of an old paradigm, an old reality here, an old job, or just something that you're cutting out. It could be distractions, it could be patterns, in order for you to fully transition into something that you love. And that's gonna bring in abundance here in the form of potentially money. Now, some of you, this family dynamic here, this discord is over money, over inheritance, over perhaps a physical death that has occurred here, or a cutoff of communication with that Death card. He's holding the sword and there's a string there. It feels like some of you over the next half of the year, something is completely going to be cut from your life. But I feel like what is coming from it is more happiness. Even if it doesn't always feel that way right away, it feels like there's a relief. Okay. Now I'm going to pull, I had to break these up because there's two huge piles here. And so we're just going to pull from this pile now, and we're going to see what comes up, and then we'll wrap up your reading here. All right. We have the Fly. Okay, so some of you, that's what you're cutting out. Some of you have gone through a period of ill health or even depression. The Fly. I'm also getting fly on the wall. So some of you may have even heard news, or there may have been some sort of challenging news, or even gossip. Maybe that's the family dynamic here, or even a work situation where there was gossip or there were words that were spoken that caused you to feel very down, very low. And I also see, for those of you that have struggled with some health issues, that could be where that spiritual influence comes in. I mentioned earlier, like a teacher, a guru, a healer, or a guide. Work with someone that you feel intuitively called to connect and work with, because I feel like this could help you recenter, rebalance your energy, soul tribe. Okay, I could go on and on forever because there's so many wonderful messages. We're going to wrap up with one last message here before I let you go, and enjoy your incredible day. I hope all of you are having a safe and wonderful weekend. It is the 4th of July here in the United States. And last night was crazy. So we had this lightning storm that literally lit up the sky like 4th of July. And I've never seen anything in my life. I was like, what in the World War III is going on right now? But it was not fireworks. It was lightning, like a heat lightning storm that was absolutely profound. I just sat outside and watched it, and it was incredible. It was the best fireworks show I've ever seen. And we have lastly here, the yoke. Okay, the yoke can be feeling like you're tied down in some way, right? Or feeling frustrated with how things have gone about. But that's why this retrograde energy is so significant, because we get to reassess and we get to take a look and say, what part of this thinking or this belief or this emotion is causing this delay or causing something to sidetrack me, right? And it feels like there is a bit of a sidetrack where a divine detour is coming in. There's something here about a divine detour. And I'm going to pull one last tarot card now to take a look at what this is that's causing frustration. I'm going to grab that card here one moment. All right, that card, 7 of Cups. No wonder there's frustration, because there's illusions, there's fantasy here in some way, or ego that clouds our judgments. So 7 of Cups, you see here that this witch is standing in front of this lady who is selling items. And she can't make up her mind. She is standing there, and there's so many different choices, but there could be a line behind her, or, not that there's a time limit per se, but there kind of is. There's something here about, okay, time is ticking, like it's now or never, like make a choice. But I'm also getting here focus, like it's time to get focused, because why you're feeling distracted is, for one, cloudy judgments. You're not quite sure. You may not have enough information, or you don't want to make the wrong choice, or there may be things that are out of your control at this time. So bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Coins. The Knight of Coins is a trustworthy, slow, methodical energy. He is an action taker, but he's the slowest moving knight. So the reason why it's taken a long time here is because you're not sure, either how to get there or what's going to be on the other side, if you are the one that makes some sort of choice or a decision. But again, I just feel like there's something profound shifting here for you with that Ace of Cups. Page of Pentacles, a new opportunity here in the physical material world. So that's you taking action. That Knight of Coins is actually allowing this new opportunity to be born. This is you taking that idea of yours and bringing it to life. And any ideas that you've had kind of floating in the ether that have just been sitting there, now's the time to say, okay, I do it, or I leave it behind, because something may be consuming you, right? That consuming energy. And I definitely see that some sort of new opportunity regarding a solid, loyal, trusting relationship, or a job offer, or it could even be you're investing in a class, you're investing in something that is going to help you maybe regulate your nervous system. It can help you feel more centered, more grounded. So there's some beautiful shifts coming in, but there's going to be transformation, and things are going to exit your world in some way, soul tribe. Trust that energy, okay? So I hope this resonates with you, beautiful soul. This was kind of a free-for-all reading. I wasn't sure what was going to come up today, but I know I wanted to talk about Neptune's impact on us all. So heed the advice if you would like. If not, that's okay as well. Feel free to, again, hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, being a part of this beautiful soul tribe, and drop a comment below. Say, hey, where are you from? How does this resonate in your life?